Assalamu alaikum guys. Good morning. I'm going to make this video for you, especially for my students who are doing SAP course with me. So this is my first video related to this topic, and I'm going to start it with the first exercise, that is SAP navigation. So, but for before going to do this exercise, the guys, you have to make sure that you have user ID password that I have already given to you, and you must know from which link you will go and activate your IP, and then you must know from where you are going to access the SAP system. So in this video, what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you how you are going to activate your IP first. Secondly, how you are going to log in, how you are going to change your password at first login, and then I will tell you some basic navigation things that will help you to perform other exercises as well. So the title of this exercise is SAP navigation. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to show you like from where which link we are going to work on it. So let me show you. This is the link. When we click on this link, you can carefully see here it is, the link. And in that link, what you can do, once you are here, you can put your user ID password. Like I will put my user ID password here. Okay, so this user ID is with you. You can check your email. I have already forwarded to you. This email, this user ID is with you, and password. You directly receive this user ID password from SAP UCC, University Competency Center. So I'm going to log in it. So we must have the correct password. So maybe I maybe there is some problem with this. So don't worry, my IP is already activated. So what I will do, I will just go and click on the link that is related to logging into the SAP system. So what they have done, when I log in into it, I already log in with this user ID and password. So it takes me immediately inside the system. But when I want to log in, what I will do, I will log off, and then I will run this link again. So sometime it happens, it automatically records the user ID password in your system where you are using it. So you can, but when you are using it first time, what thing you have to make sure that you put the correct ID and the correct password, and you are going to change it at the first login. So in this video now, I'm going to show you what actually SAP ERP is all about and what are the options they are giving you. So this video is actually related to the navigation of SAP ERP. So first of all, which interface we are using? We are using SAP web interface. So in web interface, what actually things you can see, you don't need to install any software. You must have internet, you must have computer or laptop, and you will access this link. Once you enter this link, you will be inside the system, and then you will just put your user ID password, get in, and this screen is with you. Now when you are having this screen, you can work with SAP system. So what we are going to do today, we will perform some transactions. I will give you a little bit idea of what these options are and how it works. So if we start from the top of the screen, uh, over here it is written SAP Easy Access. So whatever under this is all, we call it as a easy access menus. So in this easy access menus, what you will see that under this there is another button that is menu, and under the menu there are many other menus you can see. So you can use these menus because in the exercise that we will follow, you will find many options written over there, and maybe you will face some difficulty to find out those options. So I will suggest you, I'm giving you a trick that whichever option you are not able to find, come here, click on menu, and most probably you will find those options here. So this is the first button. Then this is log off button. You press it, you will be out of the system. Then you have to log in again. And in the system, you are having some more options over here. SAP menu. If you click here on SAP menu, definitely you will remain in the same. You can see all these menus are called SAP menus, and add to the favorite option. So in this case, what you can do, out of any of these transactions over here, you can add some of your transaction as the favorite. So how many you can enter as a favorite? Previous versions it was limited to 3, but in this version, lastly when I tried, it was up to 8 or 10. So 8 or 10 number of commands in favorite is a big number. Why? Because when people are working in the industry, they used to perform very few commands, 2 3 commands, because those commands are actually related to their work, related to their job. So they only allow you to perform those few transactions. That's why if in your favorites you can add 8 or 10 transactions, that are more than enough. Previously it was only limited to 3. Now with this menu, what you can see here, that our course, the whole course will be related to these 4 options: logistics, accounting, human resource, and sometime information system, and sometime tools. Mainly whatever the exercises we are going to do, you will find almost every option in these 3: logistics, accounting, and human resource, and mainly logistics and accounting. So what we are going to do now, we are going to start perform some tasks over here. You can see whatever is in yellow, they are folders. So whenever you have to perform some transaction, you have to go inside in these folders, and then you will find out the transaction which you have to perform. I will share you with the exercise, and in those exercises you will see that to perform any transaction, the whole path is given. So you are not required to uh, remember the whole path. If required anytime, what you can do, you can easily remember the transaction codes. From where you can get those codes, I will tell you later in this lecture. So when you are going to access some transaction, what is the, what you can call it, identification, or the identity of any transaction? If you go inside, if I go further, I'm expanding this. Now you can see these with white icons, these are the transactions. So if you run any of them, then you will be inside the transaction. See, this is right now I'm not interested that what will happen when I click over here. I'm just telling you that how you can work with any of the transaction. And you can also note down, when you are in any of the transaction, the number of options over here on easy access menu has been changed. So over here, you will find when you are in any of the transaction, you will find these 3 buttons very commonly: back, exit, and cancel. So when you perform back, it means it will take you 1 step back. When you perform exit, it means it will take out from the transaction. And if you have done some changes, it will ask you to save the data. So if you are able to save the data, then this exit function will work. And if you say no, I don't want to save, fine, it will still exit and it will go out. And with the cancel, what happen? It will not ask you to save anything. It will just cancel the transaction. Whatever the data you have generated will not be saved and it will take you out from the transaction. So what is the difference between exit and cancel? Exit will check with you whether you want to save the data or not. Cancel keep this thing under stored that you don't want to save. So it will take you out from there. Okay. And what about the back? So normally what happen when you are in a transaction and you are on the first screen of the transaction, at that point, normally back, exit and cancel behaves like same, but they are not same. Back will only take you one step back, where for example you are in level 4, means you click on the transaction, then you go inside, then you go inside, then you go inside. So when you press back, you will be one step back. But if you press exit, it will take you out from the transaction and asking you whether you want to save it or not. And cancel will not ask you and take you out from the transaction, and whatever the data was unsaved will not be saved. You have to enter it again. So now over here, if I press exit, back or cancel, it remains same. Why? Because I did not change anything. So therefore, I have no fear of losing data. And also I am only on level 1 of the transaction. I did not enter further. So that's why even if I press back or exit or cancel, I will reach to the same place. Like I press back, I reach to the same place. If I just show you, if I press change and then I press exit, you can see I reach to the same place. Again, if for example, uh, if I press cancel, again I reach to the same place. So what you can see here at this stage, the purpose or the result from all three were same, but these three buttons are not same. So all yellow icons are folders and all white icons are transactions. So when you want to run any of the transaction, what will happen? It will actually take you inside the transaction and then you have to enter the data. Which data you have to enter? Don't worry, you are not going asked to enter anything from your pocket. The data will be given to you also in the exercises, because the purpose of these exercises, we want to familiar with you with the SAP system. This is not programming or any other where you have to create your own data and enter it. So to do the practice, what will happen? The data and even the path where you have to go, run the transaction and enter the data is the same. Okay. So let me just go further in it. What things we have to do here. Let me see the exercise also. I'm not going to show you the exercise over here because for those who are my students, I am already sharing that exercise with you through our Blackboard system. And for those people who are seeing it from outside, those are not my student, definitely these videos will help them to have an idea. But they cannot use this system until and unless they have some access to the system. Means they have some link from where they can access SAP system and they have some user ID password given to them. So without that, they cannot access. But what happened when they saw this video, they see this video, what you can gain from there, you can understand the environment or you can see the familiarity of the environment. So it can be good for those as well. So what else I have to share over here? I told you the difference between the icons Now I'm going to show you, like for example, if I want to add some transaction into the favorite, how it works. For example, I want to add this transaction into favorite. So I can drag from here and drop here. You can see now under the favorites, change command is there. For example, this command also I want to add into the favorite. So I will drag and drop. See, so this is how you can add, I think 8 or 10 transactions over here under the favorite. But if you want to remove it from there, you can just click on that transaction and you can press delete button. So it will be removed from there. Or you can make a right click, and sometime it won't work. So you can use this option also. Delete favorite. Okay. So this is how the things are going to work. So when you are entering the okay guys, give me a minute. रिकॉर्ड कर रहा हूँ लेक्चर. भेज दें, मेरे पास है तो मैं भेज दूंगा आपको. Okay, sorry guys, I received one call. Okay, so this is how you can add anything as a favorite or remove it. Now the second thing that we are going to see is the transaction code. Now what is the benefit of transaction code? You can see this command we are running. This is placed where logistics, materials management, purchasing, purchase order, and then change. So it means this command is at level 5. So it will take time whenever you are going to access this command through this path. So if you want to do this activity in a shorter way, what you can do, you can remember the transaction code and you can just type that transaction code over here. So instead of going to that path, you can directly type transaction code over here. So how it will work? Let me show you. Right now, these commands are not showing the transaction code. So now I'm going to tell you from where you can make those transaction codes visible. So what I will do, I will go to menus, and in menus I will go to extra, and in extras I will go to settings, and in settings I will click display technical names. One more time. Menus, extras, settings, and in settings the last option, display technical names. Now what I will do, I will go again to the same path. See, previously it was only written change. Now it is also written MEN. So this is the transaction code. So if you click here, double click here, you are inside this transaction. So you can just have an idea of this screen, because now I'm going to show you. If I write the code directly here, if I type ME22N, by the way, these transaction codes are not case sensitive. So you can write in capital or small, doesn't matter. Wherever it is case sensitive, it will be given in the exercise. So what I did, I typed this transaction code and I just press enter. You can see again the same screen that we received. So this is the what you can call it benefit of having transaction code with you. So any transaction that you are using frequently, you can remember the code and directly put that code here and run that transaction. So this is one of the what you can call it great facility given by the SAP ERP. Then the next thing that I am going to discuss with you is there are some icons. So I'm going to show you here. When you are inside the transactions, you used to have some options like save. Then you have to have some options like exit. I already told you cancel and back. So let's see what else. Now in SAP ERP, you have two type of helps available. One is a help that will explain you that uh, where you are when you press. There are two type of helps. One is F1, other one is F4. When you press F1, it will just tell you the description that where you are. For example, I am inside this transaction. For example, I am inside this transaction and somewhere somewhere the options are not highlighted. So let me check any other transaction. Don't worry. Display. Let me check display. Okay, go back. Uh, let's try some other transaction. Don't worry. It happens. Let me click here. Okay. You don't need to remember where I am going. I am just telling you how these helps going to work. For example, here if I press F1, you will receive the help like this, that it is telling you that where you press F1, this place is purchasing group and the purpose of this purchasing group is this and the use is this. So it will give you an idea that the field is belongs to what, the purpose of the field. So this is when you press F1, but when you need more help, then you will press F4. So if I press F4 here, you can see now the scenario is different. Now it is telling you that in this field, these two data records can be added, either one of them. So that is more what you can call it interactive help. And with this F4, what happened? You can find some data that is unknown to you. You know some part of the data, but you don't know rest of the data. So you can find that by using F4. So let me just see what else we have in the exercise. Now, for example, in the exercise, they are giving you some what you can call it transaction, and they are asking you to see what type of transaction it is. So for example, in the exercise they said, go to the transaction. Again, I am repeating, students, you will have all these exercises. So you will just follow the exercise and you will perform the transactions, whatever is given. So logistics, materials management, under materials management, material master. From where I am getting this actually? I am getting all this from the exercise that I am going to share with you. So what they are saying, material management, under materials management, what is required? Then material master. So material master is here, and under material master, then we have material display, material display, material master. Let me check again. Material management, logistics, materials management, then material master, material master here. Under material master, what we need? Material display, material master. Under material master, we have to check which one? Material, and under material, display, and under display, we have display current here. So now this is the transaction. Now in this transaction, what they are asking you, remember we are doing navigation exercise. So we are not going to create anything right now. We are just what you can call it traversing or navigating SAP ERP. So with this display material, what you can see here that you will note down two things. One, they are saying transaction title. So the transaction title for this transaction is this one. Display material initial screen. This is the transaction title. And from where you can get the code? Number one, you can go out of the transaction and see the transaction code. Secondly, if you are inside the transaction and you don't want to go out and you want to check which code of transaction you are using, you will find here. See, this is the transaction code. From where you will get it? You will click here and you can see this is the transaction code. Okay, got it? So in the exercise, you can write the answer. This is the transaction title. This is the transaction code. Then again, I am going to go out from this transaction. Similarly, they are asking some more transactions to be checked. Like one of the transaction is accounting. So what I will do, I will just close down this folder, so that initially when you are new there are so many folders, it may confuse you. So what I will suggest you, that whenever you close down one transaction, close the whole path, so that you should not be confused. Otherwise sometime we lost, like I lost it last time with this transaction. So accounting and finance. Now again we have to click on accounting. Under the accounting, this is financial accounting. By the way, don't worry, you should not be afraid that from where I am doing this. Actually, I have the exercise, and students, you are going to get this exercise before solving. So you can just read those exercises and perform the steps. So I am doing it from that exercise, nothing from my pocket. Okay. So accounting, financial accounting, then accounts receivable. And then in accounts receivable, we have master record and display. So where is the master record? Here. Master record and then display. So here again, what is the transaction title? Customer display initial screen. So this is the transaction title, customer display initial screen. And what is the transaction code from where we can get? Yes, you are right, from here. I click here. But before that, I have to get out of this, or then later on we can check. So now what data we have to enter in these two fields? Again, you are not going to enter it from your pocket. That data will be given. You will be used to of this situation, that all the data will be given to you. So what I will do, I will put here the customer. The data is given that we have to put 1000 as a customer. Now, it's up to you whether you want to type 1000 or you can click here and you can search. Right now, we don't know the criteria for search. So what we will do, we will go out from there and the data they have given. So we will type. And what the company code we have to enter? They give us the data, that is US00. By the way, in SAP ERP, whatever the data is required to enter, most of the data is coded one. Coded means most of the data you are required to enter is in the system. If you try to enter something else, it will not accept. For example, if I try to enter instead of US00, I may say that enter US11. So when I try to enter US11, if that data is not there in the system previously, it will not accept. It will give me error. See, company code US11 is not defined. Okay. So that's why in SAP system, what happened, whatever the data is given to you in the exercise, you just have to enter that data. Another thing I am going to tell you, that when you perform other exercises, you will find sometime on one screen there are 15, 20, 30 options and you are only required to enter 2, 3 fields. So again, don't worry. It's not like that if you are having 10 fields on one field, you have to enter the data in all of them. No. Why? Because SAP ERP is a huge system and whatever the transaction we are doing, it doesn't matter that in every transaction or in every screen, you have to enter data in every field. It is not required. So whatever is required will be given. I am emphasizing on it. Will be given in the exercise. Okay. So now I put US00, that is given. Again, I am telling you that is given in the exercise. Now, you can see you are now inside the transaction. You can see several things are already there. Several fields are already filled. So from where this data is coming? Remember, in theory, I have discussed with you that in SAP ERP system, a lot of data is already stored. So when you access that data, what will happen? Automatically, the stored data will be appeared. Now, what else we have to do? They ask us what is the transaction title. So now you can see the transaction title has been changed. It is display customer general data. And what is the transaction code? You can click here and see. So the transaction code is FD03. Okay, guys. So this is how you can check the transaction when you are inside the transaction. And also with this small menu, you can also check from which user you are logging in. Like I am using GBI-500. So you guys will use it like section 1 starts from GBI-501 and section 2 is starting from GBI-521. So this is how you will use these user IDs. Now, What else? Now, the next thing in the exercise, they are asking us to just enter some short codes in this area. So, but before that, we have to go out of this transaction. So, I will press back. Now, you can see when I press back, it take me one step back. If I press exit, then it will take me out of the transaction. Let's do it again. I press back, it take me one step back. So when I, for example, go again inside the transaction and I press here, for example, exit. See, it take me out of the transaction. So over here now you can feel the difference between back and exit. Why I am emphasizing on these options? Because these are very small things, but sometimes it creates confusion in your mind. So I don't want these confusions to be in your mind. I just want to clear these small things. Okay. So now the next thing they are saying, we have some transaction codes and they are asking when you enter these transaction codes, tell us where you are, means what is that transaction. So the first one they said VA03. Again, it is given in the exercise. I am not doing anything from my pocket. So now what will be our answer when we say VA03? It will show us display sale order. Means if you run this command, what will happen? It will take you to the screen where you can see any of the sale order that is already created. Okay. Next thing they are saying, which transaction code they have given? MMR1. MMR1. Now in that MMR1 transaction, what you can see, where we are create raw material. So this transaction will be used if you, for example, receive a new raw material for your inventory. So you will first create it in your system. So this command will be used to create a raw material. Then ME01. Again, I'm repeating. I'm not doing anything from my pocket. Whatever is given in the exercise, I'm doing it. ME01. So ME01 shows maintain source list. So this is another command that will be used. Majority of these transactions are related to materials. So again, I'm going back. And then MM02. MM02. And now this is change material. So make sure that we are at the right place. What you can do, you can again click here and see in the small menu that this is MM02. So what we type over there, MM02. Okay. So these are the transaction codes. So what you will do, if you ask to write the transaction titles, you will just run these codes and see the title of the transaction. Okay. Now, what next we are going to do? Last thing for this exercise, that what we are going to do, we will see the impact of F4. So what we will do, anywhere in the field, if I press F4, what you can see, you will see some menu. Now in this menu, what you can do, when you use this F4, first of all, make this thing clear. You use F4 when you know little bit about some data, some record, something. For example, like in database, it happens that you are finding a customer, but you don't know his name, you don't know his ID, you don't know maybe his phone number, but you know that that customer was in the Riyadh region, and in Riyadh region he was living in that place, and maybe his street was something like Al Azizia Street. So what you are finding? You are finding a customer with this, what you can call it, limited information or incomplete information. So in that case, you will use F4 and you can find that customer. And how you can find that? You can see there are multiple criterias available over here. So you can click on any of the criteria and supply the data accordingly. And how many criteria are available? If you click here, you will see a big list. See this list. Can you see? This is a big list that will help you out to find out the record that you are searching. See? So you can select any one of them, but again, you must know which thing you know it. Like for example, if you know his home address, so you can search it as per the, what you can call it, location or whatever the title is given or tab is given. So we call these as a tabs. So in whole course, these terms will be termed as a tabs. So you can switch in between these tabs. Okay. So if for example, I say for material, I am searching a material that is having, I don't know at the start what is it, but having 100 in the number. So what I put, the thing that you don't know, very old convention, put a star. Now you can see the material that they are showing me, all those materials that are having 100 number included at the last, and before that you can see so many characters. So a big list is there. See, if you want to refine your search, you can. So this is how F4 works. It's a very good thing that you can search something about which you do not have complete information. But I will suggest you in throughout all the exercises, when you know data, exactly you know the data, I will not prefer you to go for F4. Why? You can see when you will do other exercises. In every exercise, what they are doing, they are encouraging you to use F4. But I'm telling you that if you know the exact data, like for example, if you know the customer number, so if even in the exercise they tell you search it, I will not recommend you to search the customer. I will recommend you directly enter the customer number. Why? Because it happens sometime, especially during your assessments in your exams, when you are solving the questions, maybe sometime you start following F4 and it is, and sometime it wastes your time, sometime you lost in between. So I will recommend you, this is the tip I will recommend you. If you know the exact data, don't use F4, directly put that data. Okay. So this is all about our first exercise, that is SAP navigation. What I will do, I will share this video through YouTube, and hopefully this video will help you out to understand the uh, environment of SAP ERP. And my students, I will share with you the exercise from which I solve these few things, and you can go through this video before solving the exercise by yourself. You can go through this video and you can perform. Okay, thank you so much. And if you have any question, you can ask me through the comment section of this video, or you can write me an email. Okay, guys, thank you so much.